Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh. My brothers and sisters in Islam, I hope and pray to Allah Azza wa Jal, Ar-Rahman Ar-Rahim, Al-Ghafur, Al-Latif Al-Halim, subhanahu wa ta'ala, that upon listening to my words and seeing this form of advice, that you all are enjoying the blessed month of Ramadan. May Allah accept from you your siyam and your qiyam and your recitation of the Quran and your tawbah and istighfar and your azkar and all that other good stuff that comes from our religion. I want to address a very important critical issue for all of you, but especially those people who are involved in da'wah, those people who Allah has blessed them to take upon their shoulders the mantle of trying to spread the correct understanding of Al-Islam. Allah mentioned in the Quran, وَمَنْ أَحْسَنُ قَوْلًا مِمَّنْ دَعَا إِلَى اللَّهِ, who is better in his speech than the one who calls to Allah Azza wa Jal. It is a tremendous wazifa and responsibility. It's the mas'uliyah of the prophets and the messengers. Anyway, a lot of times when people are given da'wah, there's competition between them, and it's negative competition, not the positive one. And the great scholar of Al-Islam, Al-Imam Sufyan al-Thawri, rahimahullah ta'ala, was one of the biggest scholars in Al-Islam, and he was also known as being Amir al-Mu'mineen fil Hadith. He said that the competition that you find between people of knowledge, shuyukh, talabatul ilm, ulama, some of them, he said that this competition is more severe and more serious, ashad, than what you find between people who are trading and selling from the people of the dunya, the tujar of the dunya. And I've seen that with my own eyes. You go to a meat store on Coventry Road in Birmingham, for an example. You go to one guy, and when you go in there, he starts to badmouth his brother across the street who has a meat store. If you go to the other one, he'll badmouth the one you came from across the street. They say about each other things like his meat is not halal. He's selling cats and dogs. It's not real meat. His meat is foul. It's no good. And they do that in order to scare people away and to bring them to themselves and not to go to their brother. So you have that. And unfortunately, wallahi, you have this with sheikhs and with students of knowledge. You see a brother, he gets 1 million hits on YouTube, and another individual only gets 15 or 20 or 30 or 1,000 or 3,000. And he has hasad and al-haqd. He's envious and jealous of what Allah Ta'ala has blessed that other brother with, as opposed to saying, the main thing is that the haqq is spread. I don't care who it's spread by. No individual can be on every single ship that leaves the dock. So when I look at some of the views of some of the brothers who are giving da'wah, and they may have 80,000, 100,000, 300,000, 500,000 hits, and I get 1,000, 2,000, 3,000, how in the world am I going to be upset with him? When he wins, I win. When he loses, I lose. The Prophet said, sallallahu alaihi wasallam, in the famous hadith, مثل المؤمنين في توادهم وتراحمهم وتلاطفهم كمثل الجسد. The example of the believers in their love for one another, their mercy towards one another, their compassion towards one another is like the example of a single body. If one part of the body aches, then the rest of the body suffers from sleeplessness and from having a fever. So when this brother's his lecture hits a lot of people, I said, alhamdulillah. You go to a place, Allah Azza wa Jalla has given an individual the ability that when people hear, he's going to come to Green Lane Masjid, for an example, which is a very large masjid. This brother comes and it is packed out like a can of sardines. I mean, packed out to the brim, standing room only. Why should I get angry and upset at that? This is the khair of Al-Islam and the khair for Al-Islam. So this advice is for people who give da'wah, but it's for everybody as well. And the reason why I'm singling out the people who are giving da'wah is because of the statement of Imam Sufyan al-Thawri, because of my own personal experience, and also because of what we've seen over the last years, where people have been warning against other people unjustly. They've been warning against other people unjustly. So this hadith is the hadith of the companion Al-Mustawrid. May Allah be pleased with him, Al-Qurashi. He said that the Prophet said, Sallallahu alayhi wa sallam, Man akala bi rajulin muslimin uqlatan. Any person who eats at the expense of the honor of a Muslim, then Allah will cause him to eat from the nar of Jahannam, from the hellfire. And anyone who wears clothes as a result of compromising the honor of a Muslim, Allah is going to cause him to wear the clothes of the hellfire. And anyone who bigs up his reputation, he makes himself well known at the expense of another Muslim, and he shows off in doing that, then Allah Ta'ala is going to make the same thing happen to him Yawm al-Qiyamah. This is one of the many ahadith that show us this principle of al-jaza'u min jins al-amal. You will be rewarded. The reward is comparable to what you do. You will get rewarded as you do. You do good, good will come to you. You do evil, evil will come to you. In tansurullah yansurkum wa yuthabbit aqdamakum. If you help Allah, Allah will help you and He'll establish your feet firmly. That ayat supports this concept. And there are many adillah that show this from the Quran and the Sunnah. Allah Ta'ala said, لا تكونوا كالذين نسوا الله فأنساهم أنفسهم. Do not be like those people who forgot about Allah, and therefore Allah caused them to forget themselves. Allah caused them to forget themselves. The Prophet Sallallahu Alaihi Wasallam, in the authentic hadith, had Abdullah ibn Abbas riding with him. He said, young man, I'm going to teach you some words. Remember Allah, Allah will remember you. Remember Allah in the good times, Allah will remember you in the bad times. So there are many adillah that point to this, that as you do, it will be done unto you. And this principle goes and it holds true with our parents. With our parents. If you are good, decent, obedient, respectful towards your parents, then inshallah, when you have children, your turn will come to have children who are the same way. But if you disrespect your parents, it's going to come back to you. So there are many ayat and ahadith that support this. One of the most important ones is concerning Ramadan. And we read the Quran in Ramadan. Allah Ta'ala said in the Quran, وَمَنْ أَعْرَضَ عَنْ ذِكْرِي فَإِنَّ لَهُ مَعِيشَةً ضَنْكًا وَنَحْشُرُهُ يَوْمَ الْقِيَامَةِ أَعْمَى قال ربي لما حشرتني أعمى وقد كنت بصيرا قال كذلك جاءتك آياتنا فنسيتها وكذلك اليوم تنسى. Whoever turns away from my dhikr, from the Quran, whoever turns away from the dhikr, then he will live a life that is restricted, it is tough, and it is difficult. And Allah will put him in the hellfire, and he'll be put there, he'll be blind. He'll say, oh my Lord, why did you raise me up and I'm blind when I used to be able to see? Allah will be said to him, that's what happened. My ayat came to you and you forgot them. So today you will be forgotten. So as you do, it will be done unto you. So concerning this hadith of the Prophet that's been collected by Imam Abu Dawood and other than him, Imam Ahmed has been rendered as great as being as authentic by Imam Al-Albani, rahmatullahi alayhi, wa sallallahu wa sallam ala nabiyyina, wa radiyallahu an ashabihi ajmain. Whoever eats at the expense of compromising the honor of his brother, Allah Ta'ala will cause him to eat from the nar of Jahannam. So as Muslims, one thing we have to understand is we're fasting the month of Ramadan to try to get to Jannah, to please Allah, to get to Jannah. We are doing the things that we're doing, going to the masjid, tarawih, giving sadaqah, organizing, making ourselves tired. We're organizing for the dawah, making efforts to go to Jannah. No one wants to come Yawm al-Qiyamah and the ayat tantabiqu alayhi. This ayat is applicable to him. where Allah Ta'ala said, وَقَدِّمْنَا إِلَى مَا عَمِلُوا مِنْ عَمَلٍ فَجَعَلْنَاهُ هَبَاءً مَنْثُورًا. Yawm al-Qiyamah, their deeds will be brought to us, and we're going to make them like scattered particles. The person doesn't get any reward whatsoever. قُلْ هَلْ نُنَبِّئُكُمْ بِالْأَخْسَرِينَ أَعْمَالًا الَّذِينَ ضَلَّ سَعْيُهُمْ فِي الْحَيَاةِ الدُّنْيَا وَهُمْ يَحْسَبُونَ أَنَّهُمْ يُحْسِنُونَ صُنْعًا. Allah Ta'ala says, say unto them, Muhammad, do you want to know who is the most lost in deeds, the most lost in his reality? It is the one who does a lot of deeds. Those people who do a lot of deeds. They make taraweeh, they make tahajjud, they fast all month, they do this, they do that, they feed, they give sadaqah. They do a lot of deeds and they think that they're doing the right thing. But their deeds are going to be rendered null and void. They didn't do it for the right reason, or they did things, but because they hit this one, they lied on that one, they oppressed that one, it's going to be taken from them, as the Prophet said, sallallahu alaihi wasallam. أَتَدْرُونَ مَنَ الْمُفْلِسِ مِنْ أُمَّتِي. Do you know who the bankrupt person is for my ummah? They say he's the one who doesn't have any money. He's the one who doesn't have any property. He said the bankrupt person from my ummah is the one who comes Yawm al-Qiyamah with a lot of deeds, a lot of salat, a lot of som, a lot of hajj, but he lied on that one. He spilled his blood. He punched this one. He said something about that one. He did this one. He stole from that one. So all of those people would take from his Ramadan. They would take from his salat. They would take from his taraweeh. And then if all of his deeds are exhausted, then their bad deeds will be thrown on him. I seek refuge in Allah from that. I seek refuge in Allah for making all of these efforts in jihad or Ramadan only to have people come and take them from me. So back to the point. Anyone who eats at the expense of compromising the honor of his brother, he will be made to eat from the nar of Jahannam. Naam. One of the many types of punishment for the people of the hellfire, may Allah save us all from it, Allahumma ameen, is that they will eat from the fire itself. إن الذين يأكلون أموال اليتامى ظلما إنما يأكلون في بطونهم نارا وسيصلون سعيرا. Allah said, verily those people who devour unjustly the monies of the orphans, they will eat inside of their stomachs the nar of Jahannam, and they're going to enter into that hellfire. So that's a dalil from the many dalils that show there are things that these people are going to eat, and they're going to be punished by so many things, like the shajara of Zaqqum. May Allah protect us from that tree. May Allah protect us from the nar of Jahannam, from hearing it, seeing it, being close to it. So that goes to show a person shouldn't have a job where, or something, he's doing something. I'm giving dawah to Allah, and I get paid for dawah. It can be monetary or it can not necessarily be monetary, but my numbers in my group go up. So I say, don't listen to him. Don't listen to him. He's a deviant. He's this. And I'm just parroting off what people say. And I'm talking about the honor of a Muslim. I'm talking about his honor, saying he's an innovator or something like that. The second part of the hadith and the second thing that was mentioned was that Prophet said, sallallahu alaihi wasallam, man kusiya, anybody who is dressed at the expense of the honor of his brother, he will be dressed with the nar of Jahannam. Again, one of the punishments of the people of the hellfire is they're going to be caused to wear stuff in the hellfire. Allah Azza wa Jal mentioned, قُطِّعَتْ لَهُمْ ثِيَابٌ مِّن نَارٍ. Pieces of clothing from the hellfire will be put on them, and they will be adorned with it, and they will be caused to wear it. So a person gets dressed. His salary comes from talking bad about people and oppressing people. So as a result of that, he's going to have to go to the hellfire, and the money that he received came as a result of compromising his brother's honor. So the clothes that he bought is a problem. And lastly, Allah Ta'ala's Prophet sallallahu alaihi wasallam said, anyone who becomes famous, anyone who he himself, he rises up in the eyes of the people, in the minds of the people, at the expense of his brother, You know, we have this science in Islam called al-jarh wa ta'dil. That's where the scholars of hadith used to talk about the narrators so as to protect the religion. So they would criticize some and they would praise others. We have people out here who all they do is al-jarh wa tajrih. All they do is talk bad about people, and all they do is talk bad about the people from Ahl Sunnah, and that's it. And that's it. So the science of al-jarh wa ta'dil, it is present today. It's not a knowledge that has disappeared and there's no place for it, but it's for a particular group of people. وَقَلِيلٌ مَا هُمْ, and they're only a few. As for making this science, open season for every Amr, Bakr, and Zayd, as we've seen for the last few years, and as a result of that, the Dawat al-Salafiyya tafarraqat, and the hearts of the Salafis taqatta'at, and they are those people from our Shabab. They don't know the difference between Noon as-Sakin or any other Noon in the Quran. They don't know how to read the Quran, and yet this is what they're busying themselves with. So-and-so is this and so-and-so is that. Okay, no problem. No problem. You just have to know, Ya Akhi, Abdullah, Ya Amatallah, as you like. Haniyan laka. There is a Lord who is going to judge everybody fair and justly. It's going to be fair and it's going to be just. My advice to you is make restorations. Make tawbah to Allah Azza wa Jal. All of us make tawbah to Allah Azza wa Jal. And those people you have misappropriated their haqq, give their haqq back to them. Apologize to these people and tell them that you're sorry for what you did. And the intelligent one, as-sa'id man wu'idha bighayrihi. The intelligent, successful one is the one who learns from the mistakes of others. May Allah Ta'ala cause all of us collectively to enter into the Jannah, not only the Jannah, but the Jannah al-Firdaus. And may He cause Ramadan to come to us and to leave us, and we are all enjoying good health, good wealth, good state of Iman, and He cause us to be forgiven after the Ramadan departs. Wassalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh, and peace in the Middle East.